Hey guys, it's Marcus and Learning with Marcus, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video. I've got the questions right here, so let's get to answering. The first question says, when you're speaking a language, do you ever get confused and start speaking in another language? This happens sometimes in Spanish and Portuguese, and if I'm speaking, say, Spanish, and I know most of the words, but there's like one word I don't know, and in another language, like Japanese, I know that word, I might just say it just so I can say a full sentence. So, I hope that answers your question. And another one says, how many languages are you learning? Well, I'm learning about 7 or 8, but I can speak and a little and quite a few, about 10 to 12. So, I hope that answers your question. Another question is, do you speak Italian? I speak very little Italian. I learned it briefly this past summer, but I decided not to continue. Okay. Another question reads, which is harder to learn, Mandarin or Korean? Hands down, Mandarin is harder to learn. But let me tell you why. With Korean, there is only one conjugation to every verb, and Korean has more simple script than Mandarin, because you know Mandarin has like 5,000 characters. And Korean is just a little bit easier to say, and Chinese also has a ton of tones, so it can get hard to speak. I hope that answers your question. Okay, the next question reads, what motivated you to learn languages? Well, it was basically because I had to choose a language that I wanted to learn in school, and I really didn't think anything of it. But after a while, I just started to learn that language, and then I started to pick up others, and it just blossomed, and I started to learn so many different languages, and I started to enjoy it so much. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite language and why? Portuguese is because I just love the way it sounds, and I like how it's like Spanish in certain ways, but it's kind of separate at the same time. I know it sounds a little weird, but it has its own way of speaking, and I like how many grammar rules there are, and how when you combine certain letters, they make completely different sounds. It's kind of hard to explain, but I hope I answered your question. Okay, the next one is, any tips on learning German? Drink a lot of water before you start learning it, because you get a dry throat after speaking it for too long. And there's really not much else. I wouldn't say that just learn little by little, because a lot of German sounds like English, and it's very easy to learn. Another question reads, do you know Polish? Not yet, and it's not really a language that I want to learn. I don't know, maybe sometime down the line something will change my mind, but from what I can see and from what I want to do, I'll probably never learn Polish. The next question reads, which language started it all? Well, Portuguese. And I think the reason why I like Portuguese so much is because it's the first language I started to learn. And it really just started everything, and I really learned that I could learn languages easily. So, yeah, Portuguese started it all. Okay, we have one more question. Are there any hacks to help a person learn a language easier? Well, there's not really any hacks that I know of to learn any language with the Latin alphabet, but if you're learning languages like Chinese or Japanese or like Arabic or Hindi, you can try to write it out in the Latin alphabet instead of trying to write the script, because even though it's nice to be able to read the script, I don't know if it's just with me, but when I see it, when I'm trying to remember a language or a few sentences in a language, I try to picture it on the paper, and when I see it in Latin alphabet, an alphabet that's very familiar to me, it's easier to remember than if I'm trying to learn an entire new alphabet and learn and learn how to say different words. Okay, until next time, I'm Marcus teaching you guys languages easily.